Bang! Needs nods. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on the Bang Gang live. I can't see nothing though. Kara's messing around. So let me give me a heads up on the sound audio, please, guys. Can you guys hear me okay? Because we're using the computer's microphone. It's not going to be the best audio. It's not going to be the best audio, but we'll get by. So just let me know. Can you guys hear me decent?
Yeah.
Okay, so today we, if you guys don't remember, I talked about that we are going to work on a couple knives today. So we are going to, one, increase the detent. So we're going to tune a detent. And we're also going to fix some blade rock. Not lock rock, but blade rock. And we'll also talk about how you can diagnose it versus fix it. And then we might do a little bit of in-hand sharpening, because I personally think that in-hand sharpening is possibly at least one of the best ways to learn how to freehand sharpen at first. Not saying that you're not going to do some bench freehand sharpening later, but in-hand sharpening, you have a lot of control. So we'll do that here shortly. But first, let's take apart this knife really quick. This should not take long at all. Let me get some bits. I'm just going to use a little Weeha bit driver. Maybe I need to be able to see. Yeah. Can you give me this one?
I gotta use
it. So, because I just need to see this, see where I'm at. Okay. That over there. All right. So, first we're going to do this one. And I'm going to take this thing apart really quick. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Loctiting your stuff and things like that, and ways to make sure your thread locker works versus if it's not working, and if your stuff keeps coming loose. We're going to go through all that stuff too, because everybody's ran into that issue where your knife just keeps coming loose. Yes, babe.
You have a question just whenever you're
ready.
What
Is it?
Guillermo, I can't say that. Can you give some tips on how to get the sharpest knife possible with a 300 grit pass? Oh, no, please.
With a 300 grit stone, you're going to want to do a low angle. That's the lower the angle, you're going to increase your sharpness. So 300 grit edge, there's nothing wrong with 300 grit edge. You can get a fantastic edge. I've gotten hair whittling off of 300 grit. Now,
true.
The more you've used your stone, the finer it's going to be. So like say a 300 grit diamond plate or 300 grit stone, if it's diamond, specifically if it's diamond, the more you've used it, the finer it's going to be. So technically like a 300 grit that's been used a lot, it's going to be more like a 400 or 500 grit. Yes. Yes.
Tips on how to sharpen your cheap knife on a coffee mug.
I don't really advise it because it's not sharpening. You're going to be honing. You can maintain, like you can basically use it like a ceramic rod, but you're not sharpening. That's not sharpening. It would take so long because a mug would be like a 1500 grit stone, right? I wouldn't sharpen on a 1500 grit stone. I would hone on it. I would because when you see people doing that, what they're doing is micro bevels. That's just a micro bevel. Okay, so we have this thing apart. Let me set this over here. What was this little thing? Oh, it was for a lanyard too. All right, let me set that over there. So now we have the lock bar. I need to be able to see, baby.
I know, I'm having issues over here. Just look at this.
I see that. Can you set that right here then or something so that I can see it? 1 second, guys.
None of those things you just did saved, so I'm trying to go back into them.
Oh, they're not? Oh, okay.
Nope, not one of them.
Oh, you mean the thing you did?
Whatever.
All right, so you guys see this right now? I'm just making sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so this lock bar pressure is too strong. The detent is too light. It also has somewhat of a small detent. However, Kubi has no problem having strong detents, and I mean like extremely well-tuned detents. And it's the same detent bulb. So the only thing that could be the issue is the lock bar strength is just a little too soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin, and if you notice, there's no cutout here. This is literally just bent metal. that's it. It's this is how they can make them more affordably and cheaper and everything. So this is also very easy to mess up. So you don't want to overstretch it, overbend it, or anything like that. You want to just give it a nice little bend, not too much, and hold it there for a second. Now, if it was like a thick titanium lock bar, you'd want to heat it up a little bit and then cool it off really quick by putting it in the freezer or something. Yes, baby.
It's questions when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. David Kulas, can you show how to properly open a Kaiser October with the thumb hole? I'm having trouble because I think the Detent is stronger than I'm used to. Do you have one of those that I can go get and you can do that in a little bit?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in the drawers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's in one of the big drawers. The second or
color?
One of them. It's a red micarta knife, and it's going to be closest to the front.
Yeah, I know which one it is.
Okay, so that should be pretty good. This lock bar is actually really strong down here. So I was trying to get it to only bend down here. And if I really need to get some pressure going, I'll take it right back apart and I will clamp this somehow and bend it right here just a little bit, because down here it's going to really flex if I do it. So just a little bit.
I can do it.
Yep.
I did it.
All right, so let's check this really quick. It might be good. It might need a little bit more, but we're going to find out. We at least got a little bit out of it.
I'm wondering if David's October has a stronger detent than ours, because ours doesn't feel very strong.
Yeah, Kaiser's knives are a little inconsistent with the strength of the detent. Some of them are sticky and some of them have extremely strong detents. So he might have.
He's probably going to have to go all the way down by the fuller.
No, what he's probably going to want to do is check for a burr around his detent hole, because he might have a sticky detent.
I meant to properly open it. Like, you know how when you go down lower on the blade, it gives it that momentum?
This is so much better.
Here. I don't know if you want to do that now or later, but here.
All right, let me make sure it's not. Yeah, it is so much better. So before I could easily fail it. Now I can fail it. It's also not completely screwed in, but it is probably 25 to 30% stronger. I'm almost satisfied with it.
Oh my goodness.
I might be satisfied. Let me just put it all the way together and check it. Yes, baby.
Look at your screen.
Take it back apart, though. What?
Just look at your screen.
Hey, Mike! Thank you for the donation, brother. Shout out to Mike Emler. You guys can go and follow his channel. He's right there in the chat with the 20 bounds. Also,
can I read it?
Also, in 1 second. Also, if you guys are needing any sharpening, because my books are closed, you guys can. He does freehand sharpening, so you guys can always contact him. I do believe his books are open at the moment. I can't speak for in a week or so, but right now I believe his books are open.
All right, it says, have a good Sunday, you two. Getting ready to go daddy-daughter day. We're going incense shopping. Obviously not my choice of activity. I was going to say, what? But
incense?
I'm sure you'll have fun if it's with your daughter. Incense shopping.
Incense, that's what I said.
Like the...
Yeah, I get it. Awesome, man. Good for you. Have a good time, man. I'm just giving myself a little... I'm holding it to my chest.
Oh my gosh.
Holding it right there.
Tim Adams said...
I was trying to show them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm like holding this to my chest, trying to squeeze this so this doesn't get pulled out of my hand, trying to create pressure so that this bottom part, because I'm not trying to bend it up here. I want it to bend right here at that part. So I'm just kind of holding it to my chest, giving it a good go, because this is actually a lot stronger than normally on other knives. Normally I could just bend this really easy. It's actually pretty strong the way the structure is. Go ahead, baby. What's up?
Nothing, just Tim Adams. I just read this comment. He was like, I just gotta say, I saw MC's wife on his video, and I think Mrs. Neves is prettier, hands down. No offense, Jared, bro. I'm still a little drunk from last night. Sorry. Love y'all.
He said, you're prettier?
Yes, he was saying, sorry, I'm still a little drunk from last night. Sorry, love y'all.
Oh, no problem. I'll take that as a compliment. All right, so we're going to do some Loctite. So really quick, this is very important, guys, because I know if you guys are ever going to work on knives, you're going to run into these issues. So we're going to go over 3 examples of Loctiting your knife. 1, Loctite stick. This is my favorite. However, it's not the strongest holding. Okay. Now, I always recommend after Loctiting, let your knife set up for like 48 hours. 24 hours is usually good, but I found in so many cases, so many, that 24 hours was needed. And they also, if you read the back of it, most of them say 24 to 48 hours. This one says 24 hours for this one, but some of them say 48 hours. So also depending on how much you put on, you don't need that much. But either way, let it set up. That's the point. Let it set up. Now, if you let it set up and say it keeps coming undone, this is in a red bottle, but it's a blue Loctite. So use the blue medium hold removable. See how it says removable? The 242. This is a little bit stronger than this. So if this doesn't work, this should. Now, let's just say this doesn't work. You let it set up for 48 hours. It's still not working. You can take a little tiny drip. So what I do is I'll put this on like a paper towel, just like a little drip right there. And then I'll take just a little tiny drip of this and put it with it and mix it up. And then I will dip my screw head in the mix. So there's barely any red Loctite in there. That works every time. Now, one other thing you can do, or actually 2 other things you can do, but one works really good. You can take a piece of thread. If you have thread, you can take the thread and wrap it around the screw and, around the threads of the screw, and then screw it in. And the threads will create a tight barrier inside the female part of the threads. So wrap the male part of the threads and then stick it in there, screw it in. That will always hold. You can get little rubber washers to put on the outside, and it just fits right over the top of this. And then you put it in. That works too. Some knives come with that, but just saying, there's lots of different ways to secure your lockup or your threads so that they don't come undone. So when you do it though, make sure you never tighten any screw tight. This not tight right now. That is loose. I just put it in like just a little bit. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put one of these in just a little bit. Not a lot of it, just a little bit. The reason why is because I want this scale to go down flat. I don't want it to go down crooked, where one side, kind of like a car rim. When you're changing the tires on a car, you never screw down one all the way, right? You put them all the way in a little bit, and then you go from the farthest point. So if I go this one a little tight, then I go to this one a little tight, so that it goes down nice and flat. And then I'll, go around in a circle, basically. All right, where is... Oh, shit. This is my clip one. I got to take this one out. This one goes over here to this other side. So that's not tight. Now we have the clip. I'm going to take the clip screws, give them a little dippity dip. Both of them. Make sure they both got a little bit on there. That's why that stick is so good, man. I love that stick. Switch to my T6s.
Hey, I think we finally reached the point to where I can add 2 more emojis to the thing. So I can finally add that Rockstead and maybe something else. Yeah. Okay. I think we're at that point finally.
Remember, guys, those of you that's watching right now and is not a Bang Gang member, this is probably going to be the last, if not one of the last lives we do open to the public. We've been using it as an advertisement to the Bang Gang members, but it was only as an advertisement. Eventually, we're taking it away, and you will not get these for for free anymore. You'll have to become a member. Remember, we already do 2 lives a week that are public, and we have the Bang Gang members that do pay. So I put this somewhat tight, not all the way tight. Now I'm going to come over here to this one. Pretty much tight. Go back to this one. Tightened all the way. Tightened all the way. The clip screw. The top one, which is the body screw, tightened all the way. Now this is very tight, so now I need to back out the pivot just a little bit to set the action. Make sure it's centered. It's tightened too much. Centered. Close. Detent's definitely a lot better. It could increase about 10%. Maybe not, actually. Maybe it's pretty good. Let me check that again.
Everyone wants butters as the new emoji.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually pretty good. The flipper deployment is where it's a little bit light, but when I go to try to fail it, oh, there it goes. There it goes. So it doesn't take much effort to reliably flip it. So I'm going to say this is good, slightly light. Before, it was like ridiculously light. Like the first time I picked it up, it went wah wah. So this is a lot better. Now, lockup is good. Centering, a little bit off. I'm just going to adjust it really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pressure on the blade this way, loosen this pivot screw, tighten it all the way up so that I'm putting pressure on the blade going this way because it was pushing this way. Then I'm going to let it go, see where it's at. I'm going to do it one more time. Loosen this thing up again. Keep pressure there. Tighten it back up. And now loosen it. I don't remember if it was centered from the factory or not. It's still a little bit off. I can adjust that later, but it's tight, no rock any direction, and the detent is far better. Okay, so this one, we would do the same thing. Now, the way we're going to tell well, first of all, just so you guys can hear it, maybe you guys won't be able to hear it because the microphone's so far away.
No, it's...
So, the blade is going like this in here. So, there's a gap in between the lock bar and the stop pin that's down in there. Stop pin's really far down in there. So there's a gap in there. But the way I can make sure that that's the issue is I'm going to put a little pressure on this lock bar. So the lock bar, I'm going to push it this way to make sure that it goes away. So now I'm going to check it and see it's gone. So what I did was by putting the pressure there, I'm making the lockup stronger, which is putting more pressure on the tang of the blade, creating no space in between. Like right now, space. When I put pressure towards the lock bar, no space no more. So we need to increase that to that strength so that the lockup is stronger. It won't over travel. So it looks like the geometry of the lock face is good. Sometimes when you do this, if the geometry isn't good, you'll make the lockup go to like 90%. This one has pretty good geometry. It's just the lock bar strength isn't strong enough to fill the geometry. So we need to take this apart really quick. This one has a bunch of TE6s on it. I did this one once before and it went away and it came back, but I'll be honest, I did it in a rush during a live and I wasn't, I didn't do my best work. I just did it really quick. Do I need to take apart apart the clip screws? I don't remember. I might not have to. Nope, I don't have to. That's cool. Can I see this? So that came apart really fast. Okay, so this is the lock bar, and this one has an actual cutout here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not even... Should I take it off of this? Looks like the clip. The clip is what's holding it onto this, but I don't even care about that. I can probably do it without even taking it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get something to wedge in there. Yes, baby.
Hey, Mason said, I thought you checked for blade rock when the lock was disengaged.
No, you need the lock engaged to check for blade. So blade rock is when it's locked up, right? It's engaged, and you grab the tip of the handle or tip of the blade, grab the handle without putting pressure on the lock bar. If you put pressure on the lock bar, this doesn't count, because otherwise you're just, locking it up stronger. Then you go like this and you wiggle the blade and see if there's any play between the stop pin and the lock bar. Now, lock rock, anytime you try to think of which one it is, think of what the problem is. Okay? So blade rock is because the blade is what's rocking back and forth. The blade is rocking. It's blade rock. And it's locking what? Towards the lock bar or the stop pin. Now, lock rock is when you put pressure on the spine and you can see the lock rocking back and forth like this. And you'll feel movement in the blade. But it's not like what we just heard where you can hear it rattling. It's where you're putting pressure on the spine and you actually feel it flexing. And then if it slips and goes like that, that's lock slip. So lock rock will be if you see the lock bar moving a little bit and you feel movement in the blade, but it's locked up.
That's different than lock rock, correct?
That is lock rock.
What are you saying?
I just said it.
Sorry. I came in and out of that sentence.
You came in and out of it. All right, so now I'm going to take and bend this. I'm using this little phone thing because this is screwed in from the clip. So I'm trying to bend right here just a little bit, and I'm holding pressure here because it's not screwed in. See how it'll come off. So I'm just putting pressure there, bending it a little bit. Now, if I take it off, I can just take it off and do it in my hand like we did the last one, which I might still do. You know what? I'm going to do that because I want a little more control. Is this a... What are you laughing at?
Look at our new emoji.
Oh, fuck.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Who is it? Tell him.
I forget now.
Guys, he forgot Butters' name.
Butters,
oh, you remembered it the last second.
I almost called it Bugsy.
Butters is rendered and ready to go now.
All right, I'm going to hold this.
It's not Bugsy.
So you guys aren't getting
Bugsy.
messed up here with your visuals. Let me see what they see. All right, so I'm going to hold this so that it doesn't bend down here. Or so it doesn't, bend past, which it shouldn't because this is cut out. But I'm going to hold this right here, and I'm going to bend this way just a little bit. Now, you can feel the pressure of it pushing back. You don't want to overcome that pressure too much, because otherwise you'll just bend it, and it'll go bink, and it'll snap. So if anybody tries this, you can definitely void your warranty, or, which, if you do it right, you won't. Just don't tell them. But if you wind up breaking your lock bar, I mean, it's on you. You're working on your knife when maybe you're not supposed to. So I've never broken one. I've definitely made one stronger. Ooh, that one went good right there. Oh yeah, that's going to be a strong detent. So, I've definitely made them too strong before. They had to take them back apart and rebend them back. But sometimes you'll get to a point to where it's like it's pushing back, and what you need to do is you need to get to that point and then push a little bit farther than that. You know, so like say if it's bending to this point right here, once I bend it so far, it's going to get to that point of where it's giving me as much resistance as it can possibly do it. Push it a little bit farther than that, and you'll get a little give. But the point of which you go too far is a very thin line. I'm not worried about cleaning it out or anything. It's not really dirty. I'm just trying to adjust the detent, or sorry, the lock bar. That's a weird lineup. Sorry guys, trying to line this up under my eyes. I'm not thread locking it because I want to check it. Yes, baby.
You got a ding, ding, ding.
What is it?
Steve Yoder, $10. Kara, go get a Starbucks for me. Well,
Steve,
you know
thank
what?
you, man. Thank you for the 10 pounds. Steve Yoder, man. You're awesome, man. You're always donating, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you, man. We don't have the bell over here, but we have the
I don't like that.
Squad.
I don't like, that's too.
Yeah, it's the Bang Gang Squad.
Just go bang gang. Let's do that. Wow, that hurt
Bang
my
Gang
throat.
donation.
We got another one.
Another one.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Whoa, he was donating like crazy last night. Ooh,
He literally said too much tequila last night. Now you know why you got all those donations. But no, Steve, I would totally get you a Starbucks. Just send your address, your social security number, your credit card number, and any other personal information you can think of.
Social security, phone number,
and I will gladly use that information to get. Oh God, J-Rod, go get something too. Oh, I thought he was saying. Oh, he said go get a Starbucks on me, not for me. Now I feel like a dick.
Yeah, what a.
You can still send over that SSI
dick
though.
You are. Wow, Steve, thank you, man. Thank you for
so
another donation. Much. Holy cow. Steve didn't forget about me.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, he knows to give $10 since all of the drinks at Starbucks are costing that much. I'm not kidding. My prices went up from like, it used to be like for an average grande size, medium size drink, like $5 something. Mm-hmm. It's like $6-7 now, which is insane. Absolutely insane.
Let me get to this really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
I'm sorry.
One, the lock rock or blade rock is gone. This thing is rock solid now. The travel did travel a little bit farther, which is good because that means it's going to fill in the gap of which there was. Now the detent is very strong. You can hear it. So flipping action is amazing. Thumb flicking action is really strong. The reverse flick might be too strong. Oh no, it's not too strong. Maybe it is. It is very strong. Yeah. I might just leave it though because I don't mind it being a little strong and it just breaking in because the lock bar is always going to break in a little bit. But yeah, it is nice and strong. So for the action, it had like a perfect detent. But it doesn't matter if I got blade rock, right? You can hear that lock up too. I love that. I can feel the lock bar engaging under the tang of the blade, sucking the blade into perfect lockup. That's what we want. You want that engagement because I don't know if you guys have ever felt this, but I have many, many, many times where you slow roll a knife, right? And you get to this point, you're slow roll it open and it doesn't lock up. And it literally, the tang of the blade is like trying to get underneath, but it can't quite fit. And you got to unlock it or you got to, basically disengage it and then lock it up, and you got to strongly lock it. You shouldn't have to do that with a knife if the geometry is good. The lock bar should engage underneath the tang of the blade and push, like literally like this. Like it should push it up, like right into action or right into lockup. And that's what we're getting now. Can you guys see that? Let me zoom in really quick so you guys can see this. I'm going to slowly do it. See how I just jerked it right in? Now the lockup is a lot stronger, but that's what it takes for this thing at this point to be. I didn't think it was going to travel that far over. You guys can see where it's at. Oh, let me get my hand behind so you guys can see. I didn't think it was going to travel that far over, but that's what it takes for it to be locked up rock solid, and that's what it takes. So that means that's how much of a gap there was between the stop pin and the lock bar was about, I don't know, it's hard to say, 20 thousandths maybe? Give or take, but it's rock solid now. And the detent is breaking in a little bit better for the reverse flick. This is a cool knife, but it's just so damn ugly. That's the problem.
Yeah, it really is.
It's called the Rhino. So yes, it looks like a Rhino for sure. Now the ergos are actually pretty comfortable. The choil works good. The action is really good. The minimal flipper tab works great. It's actually badass, but it's ugly as sin. So, I mean, the utility cuts work great. The blade shape is very similar to sharpening a drop point or any other clip point or sheep's foot. But, yeah, it's just so ugly. I don't like it. You know, that's the only reason why, though, is because it's hard to pull this out of your pocket. No matter where you're at, it's hard to pull this thing out of your pocket. You know, it looks almost, it's so ugly it almost looks cheap. Now, in action, it's great, though. I'll say it. In action, this is amazing. It will work very well functionally. All right, now, let's get to something else. Where's that drink at, baby?
Right here.
Let me get to see it. Okay, so what was up with the October? What do we have to do?
Show how to properly flick the hole, the spidey hole, even with the detent. I think if your I'm just gonna throw in my 2 cents, even though he didn't ask me. I think if the detent is stronger, you'd want to go down on the fuller.
Yeah, so you can go up here off of the hole. If it's too strong, go down here and use the side. Use like this part of your finger and wedge it into the groove. Wedge it into this groove. Go down there and go wham like that.
Can you show it the other way so you can see your hand on that side? Can you do that?
I don't know. Can you see it?
No. I could do it left-handed though.
That's okay. Oh, I can do it left-handed too.
Yeah, there you go. Do it left-handed.
So put pressure, towards the whatever direction you're like. If I'm going to use this one, I'm putting pressure this way.
You're low.
Before I'm putting pressure this way before I let it flick.
If you can learn that, you can pretty much apply that to any knife. Like Jared can open like any knife that way, even if there's not a hole. But
let's talk about your detent though, because most likely you have a sticky detent. Listen to mine.
Yeah, ours is not hard.
Mine's not hard at all, but it has a reliable deployment. Once the detent breaks, it flies. Yours is probably a sticky detent. So what you're going to want to do is take it apart. Where the detent ball falls into the blade, there's a little hole in the blade. You can't see it on this one, but let me see if I can get another knife and I can show you a detent hole. So if you look right here, this one, you can see the top of the detent hole on this knife. Right here. You see the top of the hole right there? There's a little dot at the top right there. See it moving right now? That little dot. So take your knife apart. That hole probably has a burr around it. Take a piece of ceramic, whether it's a little piece of ceramic from a broken cup or even like a diamond rod or a file, something, right? And go around the detent hole, because there's probably a little tiny burr around the edge and you're not even going to barely be able to see it. It's just there. And it's creating a little ridge around the hole. You can't see. It's almost impossible to see. Sometimes you can feel it with your finger, but it's just a little ridge around the hole. You want to knock that down. So don't scratch your surface, but just hit that hole around the edge and you'll get it good. I got to put this clip on really quick and then we're done with this one. I'm not even going to Loctite it right now. Not too worried about it. If it starts coming apart later on, I will do it. I don't carry this thing too often, but I still don't like to have an unfunctioning.
Yeah, I think you get more leverage when you move down the blade or momentum.
You do? Well, it depends. You get more leverage if the detent is too strong, because the farther away you are from the pivot, the easier it is to pull the blade out. So it's going to be easier for me to pull the blade out down here than it is up here. This is a lot stronger up here than it is down here. Farther away you are from the pivot, the easier it will always be, whether it's flicking or anything like that. That's why sometimes you'll see me with some knives that don't have a hole or a fuller. You'll see me put my finger all the way down there to flick it. Okay. Let's talk about some in-hand sharpening. Let me just clean this up really quick. This one is the T8. Get my stuff set up. So let me move this stuff back to where they belong. Then what we're going to do is we are going to talk about in-hand sharpening. So in-hand sharpening is where you hold the stone in your hand and you sharpen, whether it's a big stone, a small stone, a medium-sized stone, whatever. So when you sharpen, when you're coming towards yourself, let me see if I can do this. Maybe I can turn this a little bit. So when I'm doing this, I'm going to, obviously if you want to lower your angle, you can go as low as you want. But if you're trying to hit the same angle over and over and over, you got to figure out exactly where you keep placing it. But if you want to just go with the angle that's on the knife, you can just look at underneath the blade right now. There's a shadow. You guys can't see it, but there is a shadow underneath the knife. See that shadow? Big ass shadow. Right there. So you want that to go away. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift. So come on, focus. You're going to lift it until that goes away. And basically the edge is shining back at you. So like right there. See how it's shining at you? You guys can see it? Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Get it when it's shining at you. That's the angle. Then that means you can keep repeating that. Now you just bring it across the stone and lift a little bit in order to hit the belly. So I'm going to do that same thing right here. Got it shining at me. Now I'm going to go across the stone. So this is going to give me quite a bit of control. The reason why it's giving me so much control is because, one, I'm controlling the stone. So I can kind of maneuver the stone a little bit, let the stone kind of go with the knife. And also, let me back this out a little bit. Sorry, guys. And also, I can get it up towards my face. Don't cut yourself, but you can see everything so perfectly. When it's down here, I can barely see. I have to know I'm hitting my angle good. I have to know everything when it's farther away. But when it's like this, I can really get in close and hit certain areas like this, and you know what I mean? So this is how I learned how to freehand, was in hand. So if you're wanting to freehand, and also another thing is that you can use this method, even if you have a fixed angled system, right? You might not really care about learning how to completely get a perfect good edge, but you might want to use this method to hone, to maintain stropping, things like that. So knowing how to in-hand sharpen I think it's crucial. Another thing is that it can be some of the best ways to do recurves. You just need thinner stones. Okay, let me grab these stones. So you just need slim stones, and then you can do a recurve. But a recurve in hand is almost easier. And if you have like the Lansky stones, you can hold them from underneath because they have a little grab one. The Lansky stones have a little handle, so you can hold them like this and do the recurve, and you can see every piece of that recurve when you're doing it. So in-hand sharpening, I think if you're a freehand sharpener, you should automatically learn how to in-hand sharpen. And if you're beginning, especially if you have a fixed angled system, learn how to in-hand sharpen. It will help you with learning how to bench sharpen, and it will help you in the future with edge maintenance, honing, things like that. Because when I hone, in many times, I won't do it on the bench. I do it in hand like this because I can literally see. Because I want to do a micro bevel, or if I want to hone my edge, I want to be exact. So I'm watching every detail of what's happening on my edge. Like I'm literally, you guys can't see me, but my face is this far away from the stone right now. I'm literally like this, watching it. So close. I'm watching every detail. Like right now, at the closest part, I'm probably 7-8 inches away. But that way I can hone, and I know I'm not missing my angle. I know I'm not raising it. Now, down here, I'm going to have a lot more room for error. So, in hand, like this, you can really have a lot of control. And it really helps you have the feeling of holding your angle with one hand. This is a beat up 300 grit diamond plate from Ultra Sharp. You can get the 300, 600, and 1200 for like $53. I link them in a lot of sharpening videos. Ultra Sharp, this is the 2x6. They have the 3x8s, this big, but they're over $100 for that. Yes, baby.
Welcome to the Kershaw's Johnny Quesadilla.
Hey, shout out to the Bang Gang Squad. Thank you for becoming a member. Now we're going to talk about going the other direction. How do you see it, right? Like we just talked about how you can see it this way, but what about this way, right? So when you're doing it this way, excuse me, what I like to do is I look over. So I'm going to take my head and I'm going to look over and kind of look back this way. Can you guys see my hand? Back this way. And I'm going to watch the edge. So I even like kind of bend it this way so that I can really see it. And I watch it. Same thing with the shadow. So right now there's you guys see what I'm doing? Right now there's a shadow. So I'm lifting. And now I can see the edge shining back at me. Now I know I have my angle. Now that's obviously the angle that's on it. If I want to lower my angle, well then I might want to like go up to that point and just drop it down a little bit, because then I know I'm at least at a lower angle. So like say if what's on this is 22 degrees, right? So that'll be about right here. So if I want a lower angle, like say 17 degrees, I know this is probably 22, something like that. So all I need to do is drop it a little bit. Now I have a lower angle. And you guys might not have seen that, but I dropped the angle a little bit just now. But I'm going to put what's on there, or at least close to what's on there, because you don't have to be exact. You just have to be near. As long as you match up the angle from one side to the other. And if you're not perfect, that's okay. You can get perfect in the future. Just getting a good edge bevel on both sides and practicing your burr removal, all that is so much more important than getting a perfect, consistent edge bevel matching each other on both sides. If one bevel is a little bit bigger than the other side, that's okay. You can fix that later. Or you can adjust accordingly. Like if you see that this side is a little bit bigger and this side's a little bit smaller, well, then you're holding your angle a little higher on the smaller side and you're holding the angle a little bit lower on the bigger side. Adjust, right? Whichever way you want to adjust. Usually you should adjust the smaller side and lower the angle on that side.
I totally said quesadilla. Quesada.
What?
The guy's last name is Quesada, not quesadilla. I can't see today. My allergies are so bad. My eyes are like watering.
Did you take that medicine?
No, that's what I just got up to do, and then I got distracted because I heard my phone.
So this edge bevel actually looks really good. I'm surprised this 300 grit is still cutting so good because this thing's about wore the fuck out. It's like literally about dead.
I'm never going to be able to see his last name is Quesada now.
This is probably 500 grit because of...
Oh my god, I can't open this.
Let me open it?
The child. Oh, I did it. Okay, now I can't get that part. Why don't you get it with a knife? That would be real cool. You got a joint right now? No. It'd be a lot cooler if you did. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Here.
No, I'm not blood.
Here.
I'm trying. Don't yell at me.
I'm not yelling.
I'm gonna take 7 of these. No, I won't do that.
Now these are a lot bigger and a lot heavier. So learning how to do one of these, it might be a little heavy for you to learn from. You can use your elbow and put it on the table so you're just balancing. But it is a lot heavier to hold one of these. Now, if you're, used to holding hammers and shit, then you might be fine. But if not, you might want to just use a smaller plate. Also, because it's not that whether you can or can't. It's whether or not you're fatiguing. You want it as light as possible, something that's as easy as possible to kind of maneuver, right? Because you do want to kind of angle the stone sometimes and not let it slide out of your hand. These are, they're slick on the bottom, so you want to be able to have a lot of control. And sometimes even the difference from this to this is a big difference. Even though the stone holder is up a little bit higher, that there can be a huge difference. So, like, even with the stone holder, you can get down low and really look at it. So, like, right now I'm using these top surfaces instead of letting it sit inside here just to get it up a little bit higher towards my eyes. Now this 140 is pretty wore, so this 140 is more like 300 now. It was originally a 140, but it is definitely wore out now. But we're not going to completely sharpen this. I'll finish this later. I do want to bring up a Warncliffe, though, really quick. We're going to talk about sharpening a Warncliffe because that is a blade, especially when freehanding. The people think that this is the easiest blade shape to do. So this was the shape that I struggled with the most. The reason why is, I guess maybe a Persian was the hardest. But the reason why that these can be the biggest struggle is because, yes, you hold it flat, right? But you see how the edge is hanging off the tip? You can't just go back and forth like this because you need to hit the tip. Or even if you have a stone big enough, the reason why you can't just go back and forth is because the grind is different. So when they do it on a belt, there's going to be high and low areas. So if I just go straight back and forth, what's going to happen is my edge will be a wave because there's parts in the edge that are higher and lower. So you want to use a lot of the stone and also come off of the stone. So what you do is get your angle, hold it level, And as you're coming across the stone, come off of the stone too. But do not, I repeat, do not let your your blade, not the angle, but the blade, teeter. Okay, so you want to let that go. Nice and level, going across, holding your angle. Remember, there's two different things going on right now. We're holding the angle, right? That's the angle of which we're sharpening the edge bevel. Then we're holding the blade from tilting, okay? This direction and this direction. So find your angle, right? And keep it level. So don't let it teeter. And as you're coming across, continue holding it level because you're not going to get the tip if you don't. You want to be able to go all the way to the tip. And now, if I stop right here and go back, I have not hit the tip. So I can go back. I have still not hit the tip, even though it seems like I did because I got all the way down here and it looks like I'm hitting the tip. I'm really not. The tip is actually off of the stone right now because the grind is a little different. It's the way most Wharncliffes are. So in order to hit the tip, I need to come damn near all the way off of the stone, all the way to here. And then sometimes I need to work on it a little bit, but I need to make sure it's level. I'm not teetering. This is so important. If you can just get this motion down without teetering or disrupting your angle, you can get a perfect Wharncliffe sharpen. But that was the trickiest part to me. I kept teetering, and you know what? Nobody taught me that. Nobody fucking.
How dare they?
No, what I'm saying is I watched so many.
I'm just kidding.
So many people, so many freehanders sharpen Wharncliffes. Not one of them ever explained that to me. And if somebody would have just explained that one thing to me about holding it level and not letting it teeter, I wouldn't have destroyed probably 15 Wharncliffes. Yeah, baby.
Johnny.
Not destroyed, but you know what I mean. What?
Quesada. Thoughts on directing the knife towards you as opposed to away from you? I guess one has to see the angle better.
What are you doing?
Fucking up. It's my job. Go ahead.
What was the question?
Thoughts on directing the knife towards you as opposed to away from you, like when you're sharpening.
Okay, so
does one see the angle better?
Yeah, you're going to see the angle better, most likely coming towards you, because when you're going away, you can't see the edge. But then you just got to get that feel. And like I said, when you're in hand like this, you're going to have a lot more control. So I can take my arm, like right now my arm's extended. Here's my elbow. I'm going to put my elbow to my chest. Right now, I'm angling my wrist, so now it's come towards me. So now my face is really close to it.
I can see your face.
So I'm like pulling my head over and around, watching it.
We can see.
I know. I'm just.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying because you thought they couldn't see.
So now I can feel with my hand. I can see I'm holding the angle. I can feel that, and also I'm watching that I'm not teetering, and I'm pushing away. Now, if you're talking about going back and forth too, you can do that. That's not a problem as long as you're holding your angle. The reason why a lot of people have struggles going back and forth like this is because when they go back, they lower their angle. When they come forward, they raise it. So they basically go like this. There's nothing wrong with convexing your edge. A convex edge is good. In many cases, it's even better than a V-grind. So a convex edge is going to be far tougher than a V-ground edge. A V-ground edge, so basically, if you have the different, like a fixed angle system edge versus a convex edge that has a little bit of convexing, that is going to be a far tougher and superior edge in some ways. So it's not bad to have a little bit of convexing. So having a lot of convexing just brings up the toughness even more. So it just depends. Some people really like the look of a nice flat edge bevel, which is good. But you can get something that looks so flat but still has a tiny, tiny bit of convexing that you would never know. And that is kind of what you're looking for with your edge. But if you're having troubles going back and forth and convexing more than you would like, then just go one direction. That's fine. I do that a lot myself. There's times, because it's the feel of the knife. You know, some knives, some steels, on some stones, I'm able to go back and forth perfectly and hold my angle without a problem. And then some, I can just feel like, okay, I can feel myself, going like this a little bit too much on the stone. So what I want to do is I'll just go towards me or away from me, but I won't go back and forth. I'll just do single push cuts basically. So when I'm going away from me, I'm only going one direction, pushing, and I'm not sharpening backwards. But if I have a ton of control, I will go back and forth. It's just all about control. And like I said, if you're planning on convexing anyways, then it might not be a big deal at all. You might like to do that, Like Mike Emler, the way he does it, and I'm not speaking for him, but the way he does it is he does the back and forth, but he's also moving his hand at the same time. So he's doing a little bit of both. He's got like a little flow system going. So he's able to hold his angle and know that he's convexing the exact same distance every time. And he can even hold the knife like that and just move the stone. So he can hold the edge right there like that, and then literally, so now I'm holding my angle, and now I'm just moving the stone. And he does that too. You can watch him do it when he's sharpening. So he's still moving this a little bit, but he's mostly controlling the angle, and he's moving the stone. So there's lots of ways to skin a cat.
I don't think I like that saying.
Well, I like skinning cats.
Don't say that's a cue ball.
Why?
Because he has a pretty cat.
Well, I don't want to skin his cat.
Uh-huh. You kind of made it sound
so,
like it.
And like say next to the choil area, and if you get areas maybe that are the grind is a little bit off, or you're unable to hit it on the stone, what you can do is move towards the corner, because the corner will give you a little area of a point of contact where you can direct that little tiny area into the area you're missing, and you can focus it right there. I do that a lot with recurves. And then you can start your motion. Go all the way to the corner. But yeah, it's this system right here doing this, like I said, is so beneficial. I am so thankful that I learned how to in-hand sharpen, that all the other sharpening could go away right now, as long as I can still do this, because this is, like I said, it's just so beneficial. It gives me the ability to use, all right, put it this way, it gives me the ability to use this new rod, right? The new rod, this is an in-hand thing. I got an older one right here, but this is an in-hand thing. So I'm going to have to hold this and use this, right? So that's just one example. Stropping's another one. I got a new strop here. I thought about giving you guys one of these. I got some new strops and stuff, but let's load this strap up really quick, because I got this new Lavota.
Q-Bell said, Jared, no, bad Jared.
I'm not going to use this stuff. If you guys want it, you guys can have it. I'm going to use this double-sided strap, though. So we got some of the fluffier leather. So this is some of the suede leather. Is it any good? It's a little thicker. It's not the best quality, but it's decent. This is only like $20. And then here is the more denser side. Looks more like full grain leather on this side. This side is just suede, but it's a little bit of a cheaper suede. So they basically shaved down the top layer of it, and they gave me the cheaper part of it. This looks like this is better quality leather on this side. Now, not necessarily for strapping, but just as far as leather goes. So this stuff is going to be a little bit better for the gunny juice. Now, this side you can use gunny juice on, but it's going to absorb faster. Okay, so I'll show you guys really quick. Let's use the 1 micron. So here's 1 micron. Now watch how this goes. I'm going to squirt a little dot. You see how it's sitting on the surface? Can you guys see that? Look at that. Like I can't even spread it. It's only right there now. So that's why this stuff isn't the best for gunny juice. Now watch this side. One little drip. See that little drip? I can spread that all around this entire side. A little dabadoo over here. And this will dry almost immediately. That's the beauty of this stuff. Unlike a lot of other stropping compounds, it'll take fucking week. And literally, it's crazy. It takes so long. This stuff will dry before your eyes. I love it. But a lot of stropping compounds, like, they take so long to dry when it's liquid or like this stuff. I hate this stuff. USA made too, but man, this stuff, this DMT spray, this diamonds get clogged and it leaks all over the place. I'm just not a fan of it. I think the diamonds are just they're not consistent. The gunny juice is very consistent, and it's a squirt bottle, so it's not a spray. So now this side is done. I can give it a little wave, dry off anything sitting, but this will work great for the gunny juice. Now this side will work still. It's just you're gonna use a lot of gunny juice. So this side's gonna be better for this type of stropping compound, unless if you don't mind using the hell out of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it. I'm still going to use the gunny. I'm just going to use the 6. And I'm going to just use a whole bunch of dots all over the place like this. And I'll spread it around like this. Drip a little bit over here. So it still works. Obviously, you guys can see I'm still going to use it on this side. It's just not as good. So now I have a 6 and a 1. So now I could number that, but I'll just remember it. My furry is 6. My flat is, or my dense is 1. Just trying this leather out, seeing how it feels. This leather ain't bad. I mean, for $20,
is that a new one?
Yeah, this one's not bad.
Do it again, really quick, before I fall. I don't mind the sound, and it's not furry leather.
No, this is furry.
I know. I'm saying like normally furry, I'm fine with, but that condensed stuff, I hate the way it sounds.
She goes crazy.
I don't go crazy.
Her brain, something's wrong with it these days.
Listen,
these sounds have been going. She's been going
it's not
crazy.
Sound.
It is sound.
It's a sound that reminds me of a texture. So do you want me to bring up wool?
When we talk about these strops, though, setting them down, you have these holes, so you can take them. If you have a nail, you can put them up on the wall, or you can set them down on the bench like this.
I want to touch it.
But you can see. You want to touch it?
I just want to feel it. Oh, that feels different than I thought it would.
You can see all the fur that came off of this one. It's because it's cheaper, right? But I didn't really care. You know, this is just I have so many strops. I'm actually going to give a couple away. Maybe even buy some new ones. Give some of them to you guys, too. But I have, just extra leathers. Somebody asked me the other day if I could hook them up. And I said, yeah, so I'm probably just going to send them this strip of leather. This is Beaver Craft leather. It's not on anything, but you can just easily put this on any wood or any type of surface and use it. I'm going to preload it for them with some good green compound or maybe even some diamond compound. But this leather is really good leather. It's full grained and it's good quality. This Beavercraft leather, really good quality here. I like the leather that they use. The suede is really good, and you can see the full grain structure from the one side to the other side. Really good. It's probably 2 millimeters thick, which is a lot better than, this is probably 2 millimeters, but stuff like this isn't probably even 1 millimeter. This is very cheap leather. Shit leather, shit quality, shit thickness. This is just a shit strop. I know lots of people have had these strops and they said they liked it. I'm telling you right now, you try good quality leather, good quality straps, this is shit. And it's not necessarily saying that an expensive strap is good quality. That's not the case. This Beavercraft, that was like a few dollars.
Look at what Q1 Fiend just sent us. Show them the camera. It's Butters.
But like this strap right here, this was an expensive strap. Viking, right? This is really good for gunny juice. This was before I got gunny juice. So now I put gunny juice on this side, but this side I use the green. It's not the best. It's so dense that it's not really good for certain types of compounds, but it's really good for like gunny juice, right? So this type of stuff it's good for, but not this stuff. It's not really good for this stuff, but this is what came with it. So expensive strap, good quality, dense leather, really hard, thick, like probably 2.5 millimeters, maybe 2 millimeters. I'm not sure, but it's really thick, dense leather. But it had almost no suede on it. The suede side had been removed, and they left the dense leather on both sides. So just depending on what you want. So, but what I'm saying though is that like this one was really cheap. It was like a $10 strap, but the leather was shit on it. And I've seen everybody using these like across the knife community, and they suck. This is far better right here. And then like I have so many straps around us right now. But anyways, what time is it, baby?
It is 1:08.
1:08. Okay, guys, we're gonna get out of here. So next week, or not next week, the week after. Wait, hold on. What date is the next one? We need to make sure we're not going to be a Blade show at the next Bang Gang Live.
Let me look right now before we go. Today, okay, so no, that'll be the last one. Next 2 weeks from now, on the 29th, is going to be the next Bang Gang Live. Yeah, because we don't go till the 2nd, so we can do that.
Okay, so the next Bang Gang Live, whatever. If you guys have specific things you want talked about, shown, and don't forget, if you're a Rockstead member of the Bang Gang Squad, you get free Zoom call sharpenings or free live stream sharpenings, meaning it's just me and you. If you're a premium member. Now, if for any member, if there's specific topics that you want to be addressed, whether it's recurves, convexing, angles, grits, steel, whatever the fuck, let me know and we will address it, and that will be a topic. Otherwise, I'm just going to address topics that I feel like we should talk about. But if there's specific things that you guys want to talk about, let me know and we will address it. Okay, guys? Thank you guys for becoming Bang Gang members. I do appreciate it. It does massively support our content and helps us get new equipment and, you know, grow the channel and grow the studios and everything. It just helps in so many different ways. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. I talked about it in yesterday's live that we're possibly about to chip my edge, possibly about to get a sponsor, which is a huge mile marker for this channel. Yeah, we're doing a lot of big things, and having a support team and knowing you have support out there, because, you know, as your channel grows bigger, you can't help but think, you know, like the more your channel grows, the more enemies you grow, I guess, you know. And I hate to look at it like that, but it's just a fact, right? There's nothing you can do about it. So it feels good having an actual core team of support that has your back and that supports you. And, you know, and I just love that. And I love taking care of you guys and helping however I can, you know, just like from the start, right? I'm doing the same things I've always been doing, and just a lot more of it. So, you know, I try to spread myself as thin as I possibly can, and I love it. I love every minute of it. I love every minute of these lives with you guys and all the videos and talking to you guys afterwards. I love it all. And like I said, I appreciate all the support. So thank you guys. Shout out to you guys. And if there's also stuff that you guys think would be awesome giveaways for the Bang Gang Squad, feel free to message me and let me know. You know, we'll get it hooked up. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Peace.
Bye.